Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Wisconsin.
From Miller Park, it's Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubs. A thriller last night. Unfortunately, the Brewers fell 1 run short, so Kyle Lohse will try to even things up tonight. He's on the mound against the Cubs left-hander Travis Wood. Good evening from Miller Park. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minert is our reporter tonight. Well, the Cubs did win the game, but Rock, this time last night we were talking about Chris Davis and his slump. One night later, we're talking about Chris Davis and his 4 hits, a home run, maybe the start of something really good for him.
Yeah, something along the lines of what he was doing early in the season, but the element of power you add to it. You know, in the beginning of the season, Chris was really driving the ball up the middle into right field, but really wasn't hitting the home runs. I think that got into his head a little bit. I mean, a home run hitter wants to hit home runs. He got into a bad slump, but he showed yesterday why he can be such a difference maker. 4 hits, left field, center field, right field. He hit the home run on a fastball that was actually in off the plate. Very quick bat. He's got good patience at the plate. We'll see how he does tonight.
As Greg Counsell said, when he's hot, that means runs on the board. You can say much the same about Adam Lind all year long, but especially lately. Craig and Davey will have more on the Brewers' first baseman coming up.
By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. See if Craig Counsell can be all smiles here tonight with a Brewer win. Finishing touches by the grounds crew here at Miller Park tonight as we get you set for the Cubs and the Brew Crew. Craig and Davey back on board talking Adam Lind right now. He's not only the Brewers' best hitter, but clearly one of the best hitters in baseball to start out the 2015 season. He's in the top 10 in 7 major offensive categories. The big question tonight, the big left-handed hitter, can he hit against Travis Wood, the left-handed pitcher?
Well, if you go against his history, it says no. But, you know, he's swinging a nice bat. He's very hot. He's a good hitter. And it reminds me, you know, because he goes to all field, he reminds me of another guy that played in Canada years ago, Rusty Staub, who played for Montreal. Same way, had nice power, hit the ball the other way. And but Rusty hit lefties a little bit better than what Lynn does. But it's going to have to, he'll be tested tonight.
And they need him in the lineup, minus Gomez and Ramirez. Kyle Loesch gets to play stopper tonight. Will he play the roll out through a Brewers victory? Find out. First pitch on the way.
Miller last night, the Brewers with 3 runs in the ninth. The tying and winning runs were aboard, but fell a bit short. Now Kyle Loesch and company ready to have at it in the middle game of this series. Loesch looking for his 2nd win of the year. A little chilly outside. We'll get to that in a moment, but first we'll tell you Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. As I said, a little chilly outside. Might have a sprinkle later on, so we'll keep it closed here tonight at Miller Park as we get you ready for the Brewers and the Chicago Cubs as Joe Madden brings his team into this game with a 15-13 record, 6.5 games behind St. Louis in the National League Central. And here is the Cubs batting order presented by Potawatomi. Dexter Fowler, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo at the top. Had a big night last night, did Rizzo. Miguel Montero, Jorge Soler, Starlin Castro in the middle. 7, 8, 9, Chris Coghlan, Travis Wood, and Addison Russell facing Kyle Loesch.
Well, last time out, Kyle, no decision against the Dodgers here at Miller Park. Gave up 3 runs and 4 hits, 105 pitches for Kyle, making career start number 24 against the Chicago Cubs. He's 7-7. That included a 2-1 record last year. We're going to check out the Menards Brewers defense. Chris Davis, Gerardo Parra, and Ryan Braun in the outfield. Herrera, Segura, Gomez, and Lind around the horn. Martin Maldonado, behind home plate. You can see Herrera, Gomez in the lineup. You got the left-hander Travis Wood on the mound, so Scooter not in the lineup. And Robert Ramirez is still banged up a little bit with that bad back.
Tom Hallion, the crew chief, will be calling balls and strikes tonight. Alfonso Marquez over at first. Stan Bellino at second. Bruce Truckman over at third as we are set to go. As Dexter Fowler, who led off last night's game with a homer, it's the 10th time in his career that he has led off with a long ball. Middle game of this series. Cubs brought their grown man bats to the party last night, hitting 4 home runs. They are 6th in the National League in home runs. A team that came in scuffling, having lost 5 of 6, including 3 of 4 in St. Louis. But largely on the strength of home run power, that got the Cubs the win last night. First pitch of the game is a strike, and we're underway at Miller Park. And quickly 0-2 to Dexter Fowler leading off the game. And it was a indeed feast or famine night for the Cubs. Check it out, 15 punch outs, but of the 10 hits, 4 left the yard.
Yeah, tons of strikeouts for the Brewers pitching staff against the Cubs in the first 4 games this year, but the Cubs have been able to hit some home runs and able to even the season series at 2 apiece.
52 times Cubs hitters have struck out in the first 4 games against the Brewers. 3 last weekend at Wrigley, and then last night Jimmy Nelson pitched 7 innings last evening and struck out 11, but was victimized by 3 of the 4 home runs. 2-2 pitch to Fowler, and that is strike 3 called. So make it 53 strikeouts against Cubs hitters.
Yep, cut fastball on the outside corner, kind of a backdoor cutter. Check out Tom Hallion. You think he doesn't enjoy that? Home plate umpire, he's my favorite. That's the best ring up in baseball, of course, not if you're a hitter.
Leaves no doubt for those in attendance. That is strike 3.
You know, you just can't walk out there without stretching out to do that. I mean, that's a good way to blow out a intercostal.
Injury waiting to happen. So his pregame calisthenics have been very, very effective.
Got to be ready. Got to get loose.
There's Chris Bryant. And a little tapper over to third. That's Herrera getting the start over there again for Ramirez, and there are 2 men out. As Rock mentioned, Elian Herrera getting the call. Looking pretty good, Rock, over there at third.
Yeah, that was a nice play. Very close at first base. Not quite sure if the Cubs are going to challenge it or not. And the Brewers blessed with some utility players that can play all over the diamond. Bang, bang. I don't think the Cubs are going to challenge.
Ramos Ramirez, a little lower back tightness, out of the lineup last night. Carlos Gomez still dealing with the hip issue. The hope is that they could both be good to go tomorrow, but we will find out together. So Gerardo Parra patrolling center again, and Elian Herrera at third. Here's Anthony Rizzo. 2 for 5 last night, including a home run.
He's had terrific success against Kyle Lowe's 10 for 21 career.
Get an idea of that defensive shift the Brewers have going. And Segura in his normal spot, but they swing Herrera on the right field side of the bag at second.
Makes sense. Herrera's used to playing second base. Why not? There's a good change up from Lowe's. Now, when you put your third baseman over in that position, you're only putting one guy really out of position.
We saw it last night, and we're seeing it again right now. A ball, 2 strikes. Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo. And he goes the other way to left field. Routine for Chris Davis. Good start for Kyle Loesch as the Cubs retired in order as we get started at Miller Park. for the first, and now the Brewers and Craig Counsell their first crack at Travis Wood here tonight, as Craig wrapping up his first week as the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. His batting order presented by Potawatomi, Gene Segura, Hector Gomez, and Ryan Braun at the top. Adam Lind hitting cleanup, followed by Chris Davis and Gerardo Parra. Martin Maldonado starting for the 16th time in the last 18 games, followed by Elian Herrera and Kyle Loesch. And it's the left-hander Travis Wood getting the call for the Cubs.
Yeah, fourth year as a Chicago Cub, a 25-39 record so far. As a Cub, spent the first 2 years of his career with the Cincinnati Reds, a .440 earned run average. He's got a 4-4 record against the Brewers in his career in 10 starts,
including 1-3 all-time at Miller Park. Gene Segura, Hector Gomez, Ryan Braun getting things started bottom of the first. Here's Segura. Had a hit in 4 trips last night. Even runners on base. That came back to haunt the Crew. Stranded 9, including 2 in the 9th inning. And they mounted a rally. And into the bottom of the 9th, down 7-3. A Ryan Braun 3-run homer. The Brewers put a couple of more men on. The tying and winning runs were aboard, but in a good battle, Gerardo Parra eventually lost that battle with Hector Rondon on a strikeout to end things.
Now the Cubs were forced to bring their closer in, had a 4-run lead, made them work pretty hard. It may pay dividends tonight. We'll see. Aren't too many, silver linings for the Brewers without wins these days.
This is popped up, and this will carry just out of play.
Travis Wood, only the 5th left-handed starter the Brewers have faced this year. Haven't faced too many. There aren't too many actually in the National League Central Division anyway.
No, you're right. A very right-handed heavy pitching staff, starting rotation throughout this division. Gene Segura, when given the opportunity to face left-handers, has been good. 8 for 16. And there's a bouncing ball over to Addison Russell at second, out number 1.
Well, check out the Menards Cubs defense. You've got Coghlan, Fowler, and Soler in the outfield. Bryant, Castro, Russell, and Rizzo from third to first. Miguel Montero behind home plate. And you can see Starlin Castro, 5 errors in the first 28 games this year. He can be real good. He can be real sloppy. Starlin Castro, we've seen both so far in the first 4 games in this season series.
Yeah, the not so good part from his perspective last week at Wrigley Field. Hector Gomez getting the starting call for the Brewers at second tonight, trying to lay one down. Well, it's going to be a memorable week for Gomez. Monday night alone is one that I think he will cherish forever. What he was able to do against Clayton Kershaw, his first career home run against the great lefty. Curve from Travis Wood misses. He was a big factor in that Brewers comeback against the Dodgers on Monday night. The managerial debut of Craig Counsell. Travis Wood with a 1-1.
And he's getting a lot more playing time than I think he thought and the Brewers thought coming into the season. Let's check out that home run that he hit against Clayton Kershaw. There's the triple down the right field line. And then he's going to show the Dodgers not only can he go to the opposite field, he can pull the baseball. A big fly to left. That got the Brewers on the scoreboard.
Strike 3 called to Hector Gomez. Travis Wood gets his first strikeout. 2 men out, bases empty here in the home half of the first.
Yeah, Wood's not one of those guys going to blow anybody away. I mean, 89, 90 tops. He'll throw a cutter, a slider, and a curveball. A terrific athlete out there on the mound. Did not commit an error all year last year. He can swing the bat and he can run.
Like you mentioned, like a lot of these Cubs pitchers, they will throw strikes. They don't walk a lot. That's been a trademark of this Cubs team in this first 5 weeks of the season. For every walk allowed, they strike out 4 as a staff. Well, Ryan Braun helped make it exciting last night with that 3-run homer. And here's how it looked with the Brewers down 7-3 in the ninth. The question was, would it stay fair? And it did. Tucked it just inside the pole and made it a 7-6 game. As it got very interesting last night, but unfortunately the Crew fell a run short. So the two teams have split the 4 they've played. 3 last week at Wrigley and series opener last night.
Yeah, game ended with 2 on and 2 outs, and Hector Rondon able to get the last out of the game.
2-1 pitch to Ryan Braun.
I see a lot of fastballs in on these right-handed batters for the Brewers. Wood likes to throw inside, throw a changeup away. He'll turn it over once in a while, and he'll throw a lot of cut fastballs.
Originally a second-round draft pick by the Cincinnati Reds in 2005. Full count now to Braun. Reds traded him to the Cubs back in December of 2011. He was 8-13 a year ago, but has won 2 of his first 3 decisions here in 2015. 3-2 pitch to Ryan Braun. The chopper, Castro. And the Brewers are retired in order. Both the Brewers and Cubs go down 1-2-3 Miller Park. Seconds here in Milwaukee. Time now to take a look at our DraftKings players to watch for tonight. What a night it was for Chris Davis, snapping out of that slump that he's been in. 4 for 5. Dexter Fowler, big night for the Cubs. Clayton Kershaw making his latest attempt at his 100th career win. And you see what Paul Goldschmidt has done in the last week.
He's some kind of hitter, isn't he?
He really is. I would venture to guess he's had a few 7-day stretches that look a whole lot like that.
Yeah, talk about a guy that can hit him out to right center. I mean, big power to the opposite field.
Gets lost in the shuffle a bit. The team, the Diamondbacks, couple games under 500. They've had their struggles, but it gets lost in the shuffle until your team plays his team.
Right.
And then you're like, oh yeah.
Then you're better off walking him.
Miguel Montero leading off here for the Cubs. He's the former Diamondback. A good night last night, or had a base hit last night. 286 average. He's had a good last week himself. Last 8 games, 12 for his last 29. And a line drive to right, and that's how the second inning begins for the Cubs.
Yeah, likes the ball down in the strike zone. That was a hanging curveball from Loesch. You give him a fastball down, I don't care if it's in or away, he's going to put a good swing on it. Got a hanger on a 1-1 count.
So there's the first hit of the ball game. Brings up Jorge Soler. He was one of the Cubs who got into the home run parade last night. 2-run blast. The shift is on for the Cubs right fielder.
It's a big man up there at the plate. You go down there and watch him take batting practice. He is a large human being. He spreads out in that batter's box, covers just about the whole thing.
He quickly worked his way up through the minor league system. Went through AA and AAA last year and then got the call up in August. He's homered 3 times. We mentioned the 2-run homer last night. 3 homers. He's driven in 13.
Not much room left in that batter's box.
No, he's pretty much has it all covered. Here's the 2-0. Taking something off. Got to be careful with Soler. He has homered twice already in his career against Loesch in 19 at bats. Part of that young group of Cubs. Have an infield of 25 and younger, and their right fielder age 23.
There's a guy you can get with off-speed stuff. You better get it down in the strike zone. Likes the fastball.
It's a Cubs team, and if you caught Brewers Live pregame, Craig and Davey broke it down for you very well. And Sophia, this is a team that will hit some homers, but it will strike out a lot. Soler has fanned 42 times already. But if you're the Cubs, you're taking that trade because there's some power there, certainly with Rizzo, Soler, among others. And last night, yeah, they punched out a lot, but they put 7 runs on the board, 4 homers. So Joe Maddon will take that. 3-2 pitch coming to Jorge Soler. And that is well hit left field. Davis has it tracked. Edge of the warning track. Out number 1.
Got away with that one. That was an off-speed pitch, and sounded like Soler got it down on the trademark just a bit, just enough to keep it in the ballpark.
Oh, loud outs from Soler. Here's Starlin Castro. Castro homered last night. 4 Cubs homers in that game. First time Jimmy Nelson, who surrendered 3, has given up multiple homers.
Well, before last night, he'd only given up 1.
Right.
He won in his first 5 starts. So, yeah, he's done a good job keeping it in the yard until last night.
Struck out 11. He was doing a lot of things very well, but left a few too many out over the plate. And the Brewers pitching staff, that has continued to be a problem, and it finally got to Nelson last night. But it's a staff that has surrendered 46 home runs. That is the most in the big leagues. 0-2 the count to Castro. It's 5 years and 2 days ago that Castro made his major league debut. Kind of hard to top the act. First plate appearance, 3-run homer. Might seem like he's been around a long time. He is 25 years old.
And that's something. Didn't take him long to settle in either. He was pretty good right away.
Yeah, 6 RBIs in his very first game. May 7th, 2010. Since then, he has become a 3-time All-Star. But he knows there's a lot of young players with the Phenom label that are waiting. But he is holding down that shortstop position for now for the Cubs. And having a good start, 293, and he's driven in 18. Loesch ready with a 2-2. To center field. Gerardo Parra going back. 2 men out.
Well, that ball carried pretty well. Parra fooled initially, but able to retreat and make the catch. It sounded like Castro got that one down on the end, but had some pretty good carry out there in the center field.
Two men out with Miguel Montero, the runner at first, and now Loesch will face Chris Coughlin. Again in left field for the Cubbies tonight. Former Florida Marlin, the Rookie of the Year back in 2009. What a tough start if you look at his average, but he has homered 3 times.
Yeah, one of the few guys that's off to a slow start on his club.
Yeah, you have a lot of guys. You look at that lineup, high 200s, and then guys like Rizzo who come in at 330. Coughlin hitless in 4 trips last night. Cubs did pound out 10 hits against Brewers pitching. Check of the runner, Montero over at first. The Cubs are second in the National League in the stolen base department. Only Cincinnati has swiped more bags in the National League.
I don't think you have to worry too much about Montero, though.
No, you wouldn't think.
But with Joe Madden, I don't think anything can surprise you.
That's yeah, logic would tell you the Cubs catcher's not going anywhere, but as we have talked about with the Cubs, Joe Madden has his own book. A ball, 2 strikes to Coughlin. And he wins, says the third base umpire Bruce Dreckman. So a hit, nothing else through an inning and a half at Miller Park. Of the second inning. So you look at our T-Mobile game changer, and boy, has he ever been one. Bryce Harper. You see what he has done here in the early portion of this season. Those 11 home runs. A few days ago, he was sitting at 5. But that was a few days ago. Take a look. He has a 3-homer game.
6 of them in 3 games, right?
Yeah, 3 homer followed by a 2-homer game. I mean, he is absolutely going to work. And with what he's done now, he has, at least for the moment, taken over the lead in the National League with 11 home runs as he played long ball again today. And that Nationals team with the very high expectations around 500, but heating up here of late, and in large part because of Harper.
Looks like he's coming of age, right? He's finally healthy and becoming the player that the Nationals thought he would be.
He is having himself a week, or more specifically, last 3 days. Very exciting player to watch. He's not bad either, Adam Lind.
Yeah, 6 home runs in 3 days. I mean, 6 home runs is a pretty good month. I mean, you think about it.
Yeah, you can say he is dialed in. The Nats defeated the Braves today, 8-6. So Washington is heating up a little bit. Choppy start for that club. Nothing choppy about what Adam Lind has been doing. A .340 average coming into the game. 6 for 11 in his last 3 games. A couple of home runs.
And hitting almost 300 against lefties.
He already has more hits against left-handed pitchers this season than he had all of last, and about half the at-bats. Now, if you put that in perspective, he rarely appeared against left-handed pitchers a year ago. He's 5 for 17 against lefties as a Brewer. A roller to Addison Russell for the first out of the inning.
Well, getting an opportunity to play every day. Greg Counsell is going to keep him in there against left-handers until he proves he can't do it. And so far, so good.
Here's Chris Davis. His night jumped his average 31 points. This time last evening, we were giving you a lot of tough numbers involving the Brewers left fielder, but a 4 for 5, including a home run. Really, that's the hope in the dugout, and with Chris specifically, that's the start of a good little roll for him.
Yeah, he was shooting that baseball all over the diamond last night. Left, center, and right. Home run to left.
As you heard from Sophia in Brewers Live pregame, Craig Counsell was saying when Chris Davis gets hot, that means runs on the board.
Yeah, difference maker. His power makes a difference in that lineup when he gets going. And like a lot of home run hitters, he's streaky.
2-0 pitch. Davis has walked 12 times this season, too. Been more patient than what we saw a year ago. We'll see if he can get into some rhythm at the plate. Travis Wood has walked 8 as opposed to 31 strikeouts going into this game. 3-1 pitch. A check swing foul out of play. Keep an eye on the Central for you here today. Reds and White Sox playing a doubleheader. They were rained out last night down at U.S. Cellular. There's a ground ball, diving stop Castro, but that's one he needed to eat. Instead, he airmails one. And Davis will get second.
I just can't imagine why he'd throw that baseball. No business throwing that to first base. He's not going to get the runner at first. That's just not a smart play. I mean, that's a base hit, and now it's going to turn into a 2-base play with a base hit and an error. And Chris Davis doing what he did last night, shooting the ball up the middle. First hit for the Crew.
So a hit and an error. Here, of course, charged to Castro. That's what we've talked about. You can see the really good and the not so good, and sometimes in the same play. This diving stop, but the Brewers will happily accept that high throw. And now Gerardo Parra. Reds the Reds and White Sox playing 2. The first game is in the 9th. It's 10-3 Cincinnati, and the Cardinals and Pirates underway in the bottom of the 2nd, in Pittsburgh with the early jump.
Yeah, White Sox coming to Miller Park on Monday.
Yes, sir. That is is well struck into center field. Fowler looking up, and it's gone. Gerardo Parra with a 2-run blast to open the scoring tonight.
And another guy starting to heat up a little bit, swinging the bat better. Lefty versus lefty. Craig Counsell forced to use Parra. Gomez not available, and he hammers one into center. That was a no doubter. Fowler went back a couple of steps and gave up. High up on that batter's eye.
Well, the Brewers break on the board first. First of the year for Gerardo Parra. Well, Martin Maldonado. His 16th start behind the plate in the last 18 games following the broken toe suffered by Jonathan Lucroy nearly 3 weeks ago. There's a liner to left and a base hit. So Maldonado follows the homer with a single. The Brewers getting to Travis Wood here in the second.
Yeah, Brewers a pretty good fastball hitting ball club, and Travis Wood a guy that's going to give him a lot of fastballs, particularly early in the count. He likes to get ahead. He'll throw the fastball to get ahead most of the time, and if you're a Brewer hitter, you got to be ready for it, and why not attack it early? They call it ambushing the fastball.
Yes, sir. Gets that Brewers dugout smiling. Here's Elian Herrera. Get in there at third this evening. The hope is that Carlos Gomez and Aramis Ramirez will be ready to roll sooner than later. As you look at Ramirez, a little lower back tightness has kept him out of the lineup, and Carlos Gomez with the hip issue.
Yeah, pretty good chance Gomez will be in the lineup tomorrow. About 50-50 for Ramirez.
He's bouncing around a little bit today before the game. Of course, if he wasn't, then you know he'd really be hurting. He's working his way back. Talking about Carlos Gomez.
A lot of nagging injuries for this Brewers ball club. Some guys on the DL. Lucroy's still out. A lot of different lineups the Brewers have been forced to post this year. Just about every day something new.
Yeah. 30 out of 31 now. Include this game that they have had different lineups. It has been said multiple times this ball club is not leaning on that as a reason, but at the same time it's an issue.
It doesn't help.
It really doesn't.
No, it doesn't help. That a lot of guys are out and nagging injuries a day or two, and Craig Counsell has been charged to figure out how to get through it.
Yeah, that's part of the welcome to being a manager. That he played 16 years in the big leagues. He knows how it works. He's of course been with this organization for quite a while, but now in the manager's spot, you see it every day firsthand. And
buck stops with him, right?
Yeah. Figure out a way to get a lineup together to give your team the best chance possible. 3-2 pitch to third. Bryant will flip to Russell for one, and on to first, not in time. Herrera beats it out. So we get the force of Maldonado.
The new age of baseball, right? Nobody moves. Manager out there on the warning track along third base, and according to Joe Madden, they're going to let it stand. Not going to review it. Yep, bang, bang.
Right. So no challenge?
Yeah, back in the old days, Joe might have gone out there and started a little dust up with the umpire and get everybody excited. Not anymore.
I know, I missed that. He did get tossed from a game in St. Louis earlier this week, but yeah, it's
not the same, is it?
Missing element.
Yeah, I think everybody misses it a little bit.
Oh yeah. I think he could give it to you as good as anybody too when he gets riled up enough.
Yeah, now they do is they stand up there, they go, hey, hold it, we're going to take a look at it, and then that's it. Turn around, okay, never mind.
Well, it's one of the tweaks we see this year from last. We would see the manager last year go out there right to the umpire and then turn around to the dugout to say thumbs up, thumbs down, are you going to challenge? But so at least now they only inch their way out a little bit. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, last year at least they go out and say, hey, how's the wife and kids?
Right.
Nice crowd here tonight. The weather's been nice. We're not going to challenge it.
Have a good day.
Have a good night.
I might see you later. I might not. Travis Wood giving up the first couple of runs tonight as Loesch down 2 strikes to nothing. Brewers got to Wood last year. He was 1-2 against the Brewers in 3 starts, but they knocked him around, especially a game in May last year. He went just 2 1/3, gave up 7 runs. There's Castro. And that'll do it for the Brewers here in the second. But Brew Crew strikes first, courtesy of Gerardo Parra, who takes Travis Wood over the center field wall. 2-0 Milwaukee. Concert is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. 2-0 Brewers lead the Cubs. The strength of a 2-run homer from Gerardo Parra. Move to the top half of the 3rd inning. First of the year for Gerardo Parra. Here's Travis Wood. And our continuing theme of pitchers who can hit. Here's another one. Go 8-9-1 in the order.
Hit over 240 last year, off to a bit of a slow start this year.
And just 2 for 17. But he's homered 9 times in his career, including 3 times in each of the last 2. Actually has a grand slam on his resume a couple years ago against the White Sox. Jake Peavy. Yeah, good all-around athlete.
Yeah, pretty good athlete. Did not commit an error last year. Runs the base, hit a ground ball. He will bust it down that line.
Here's the 1-2.
Most pitchers barely make it down to first base on a ground ball. Not this guy.
Doesn't worry about pacing himself, huh?
No.
Just going to get after it. Loesch ready with a 1-2 again. And that is hit in the air to center field. Gerardo Parra with room. Warning track fly. Out number 1.
Just missed it. Hey, the Brewers continue their run against the city of Chicago this Monday through Wednesday as the Brewers and the White Sox meet at Miller Park for the first time in 6 years. Tickets start at just $9. Visit Brewers.com to reserve your spot today.
Bring back that rivalry, huh? Old American League days for the Brewers.
Used to be heated.
Oh, yeah.
There's been some dust-ups between the Brewers and the White Sox.
Here's Addison Russell. There's an 11-game hitting streak going. As you might guess, but the Elias Sports Bureau confirmed it, that hitting streak is of 11. Russell, the first National League player to have such a streak, batting in the 9 spot. Makes sense in the National League. Joe Madden the exception to the rule in that he has pitchers hitting 8th.
Right, usually the pitcher in the 9th spot.
Right. But he is in some rare air, Addison Russell, hitting where he does in the lineup and having hit safely in 11 straight. Well, 1-2.
Well, again, just feeling as though with the pitcher in the 8th spot, you have a better opportunity to have a position player hit 9th. Maybe have more guys on base for guys like Brian and Rizzo in that lineup as you turn it over second time through.
And make it a 12-game hitting streak for Addison Russell. 1-out single for the second baseman. Hit number 2 tonight for the Cubs. And back to the top of the order, and Dexter Fowler. Came over from the Astros. 6 years with the Rockies prior to that. Now he faces Kyle Loesch.
Yeah, Rockies thought they had a center fielder for a long time, just couldn't get on base enough. A switch hitter, tremendous speed. You have to have speed to cover center field at Coors Field.
Drafted by the Rockies in 2004. Here's the 1-0. Shortens up. And then he ducks because Maldonado, always a threat to try to nab a base runner who strays a little too far from the bag.
And if you don't duck, you might get one that chops. This is a nice pick by Maldonado. That was a short hop, and Fowler saying, I'm getting out of the way here.
Veteran move.
Martin loves to throw behind the runner, or behind the hitter. Trying to get that runner at first base, taking a few too many steps.
Kyle Loesch in this outing looking to bring back that effort that he had back on April 23rd against Cincinnati. 7 innings, allowed just 3 hits. It's the Kyle Loesch that they know, looking to have more of, as Fowler sends one toward the gap in left center, and that's going to be extra bases. Rounding third, Russell. Now they're putting up their hands for a double, and the umpires aren't going to buy it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You got to pick that out of there.
Yeah, Fowler is coming all the way around. It's one that, when in doubt, play it out.
Yeah.
But Fowler circles the bases.
Now they're going to give him 2. Yep, it's underneath, tucked underneath, way underneath, and hard to pull it out. That's one of those gray areas. I saw Prince Fielder get an inside the park home run here on a baseball very similar to that, caught underneath that padding. That right there could have gone either way, in all honesty. Alex Rios, the right fielder for the Blue Jays, way back in the old days with Prince Fielder around. Hit one just like that down the line and right. Umpire went out and said, no, you got to dig that out of there, and it turned into an inside the park home run.
Well, we might get that little jaw to jaw here with Joe Madden.
Yeah, I mean, that could have gone either way, in all honesty. I mean, you know, if you're a Brewer outfielder, you got to dig that out of there.
Well, as it is, it's a double. Runners at second and third.
You know, just a portion of that baseball was under that padding. I think Gerardo pulls it out of there, but the fact that it was completely underneath that padding, and that's why second base umpire Dan Bellino called it a double.
Took a chance, it worked out. Now here's Chris Bryant, 1 out and runners at second and third. Take the run off the board, and there's Chris Bryant with a fly ball hit back into deep left center field, and there's the first career homer for Chris Bryant. You knew it was going to happen. You just hope it would be on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, well, it's a breaking ball, and that was a cut fastball that stayed down the middle of the plate, and Bryant took a while to hit his first. And that's a 3-run home run for him, and that gives the Cubs the lead. And there's that home run ball once again, not just for Kyle Loesch, but killing the Brewers in the early going this year.
The 47th allowed by Brewers pitching. Here's Anthony Rizzo. That's what happens when you hit your first big league homer.
Yeah,
they leave the dugout.
Silent treatment. They're in there somewhere. He's going to go find them.
Just like that, the Cubs take the lead. As both teams with home runs tonight. Parra for the Brewers and Chris Bryant's his first big league bomb for the Cubs.
It's a serious gut punch, you know, to this Brewer club. They put 2 on the board, and right away Cubs come right back with 3.
Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, having a little fun with Bryant. 2 balls, 1 strike to Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo off to a terrific start. .330 average coming into the game, 3rd in the National League in on-base percentage at .456. As he is following up on the big season he had last summer. Full count to the first baseman. So the Cubs going to work after Travis Wood flied to deep center. Single from Addison Russell, a double for Dexter Fowler, and a 3-run shot off the bat of Chris Bryant. That is strike 3 swinging. 2 men out here in the 3rd.
Yep, slider for Kyle Loesch against the left-handed batter. Got to get it down on the back foot. Left it up a little bit, but it was in, and Rizzo swings right through it.
Two men out. Loesch will face Miguel Montero. He singled to begin the 2nd inning. Montero now 6 for 20 in his career against Loesch. Over the last 8+ games, he is 13 out of his last 30. A hot hitter, Miguel Montero. So business has picked up for both offenses here. Brewers with 2 in the bottom of the 2nd. Cubs with 3 in the top of the 3rd.
You can see where Martin Maldonado is setting up that target up around the belt. That's where you want to attack Montero. He likes the ball down. Wants it up again.
And it missed. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the 3-1.
Right back to it. The cut fastball down the middle, but Montero pulled his head on it.
Loesch with 3 strikeouts. Has not walked a man. 3-2 pitch coming to Montero. Making 4 strikeouts for Kyle Loesch. Got him on the change. The Cubs get a 3-run homer from Chris Bryant. 3-2 Chicago.
Potawatomi Hotel and Casino, the Cubs with a 3-2 lead, and some updates on some Brewers injuries. Both Carlos Gomez and Aramis Ramirez continue to be day-to-day, but Craig Counsell hoping to get both of them back in the lineup for tomorrow. He said with both of them, just being cautious, they felt one more day was the best way to go. Spoke with Ramirez before today's game, said he was feeling better today, still has tightness and soreness in that lower back, said he's never had a back injury before, so he's been getting treatment several times a day, both yesterday and today. Hopes to be good to go tomorrow. Same with Carlos Gomez, who was able to do all activities on the field earlier this afternoon. And Jonathan Lucroy continues to make some progress. He took batting practice on the field earlier this afternoon after taking soft toss yesterday. So Craig Counsell saying with the broken bones, you can't really speed up the process. At this point, it's just marking days off the calendar. But he said it is good to see Luke get out onto the field and do some baseball activities. And he is progressing as they expect.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. And Gene Segura starts the bottom of the 3rd with a base hit to center. That is encouraging news with Lucroy as he continues his recovery. And there's a little look at what he's been up to.
See, he's got the protective plate over the foot. He's trying to do some baseball activity. Can't do a lot of running, of course. Riding a bike. He's been doing some throwing and now hitting on the field a little bit. But like Sophia was saying, you can't rush, a broken bone. I mean, it's going to heal when it heals.
Hector Gomez took a called 3rd strike in the 1st inning. A leadoff single from Gene Segura. Let's see what the Brewers can do with it. It's a curve. Misses. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Wood, pretty good move over to first base. We talked about how good of an athlete he is. He fields his position well. He'll keep runners close. You can run on Montero, though, a little bit. He's thrown out only 2 of 13 base stealers. That's around 15%.
Segura is 6 of 7 in stolen base attempts.
The only question is, are the Brewers going to be able to read him and get jumps when they get on first base?
Here's the 1-1. Sharply hit, and it gets through. Addison Russell, no play. All hands are safe.
Yeah, that was a double play ball turned into getting nobody. There's a break. Now jump all over it. That first 2 reach, 1 and 2 in the batting order, is a bullet. Goes right up the arm of Addison Reed, and with great speed, he gets nobody. It looked like that was going to be an easy double play.
Instead, it's the second error of the game to the Cubs. This one against Addison Russell. So opportunity knocks here for the Crew in the 3rd inning. 2-1 and nobody out for Ryan Braun. Braun with his 6th homer of the year last night of the 9th inning. Braun also doubled in last night's game. That was his first double of the year. Chance for the Brewers to come right back at the Cubs after a 3-run homer from Chris Bryant, giving Chicago this lead. Braun grounded to short to end the 1st inning. Take a look at the Powerball leaderboard, and you see Adam Lind in his hot stretch. And he and Braun kind of going back and forth there. Lind leading at the moment. Ryan Braun right behind him.
That'd be good for number 6 right here.
Dude, great time for it.
3 points on the board here.
Here's the 1-0.
Just trying to get the Brewers to chase that little cutter, slider, whatever he calls it. Brewers so far have done a pretty good job laying off that pitch.
Travis Wood, in his 3 starts against the Brewers last year, the ERA was more than 8. Brewers knocked him around late May last year. That's what drove it up when he went just 2 1/3 or 2 2/3 and gave up 10 hits and 7 runs.
Yeah, 3 starts, 14 runs aren't allowed in 15 1/3 innings.
Gerardo Parra touched him up for a 2-run shot in the 2nd. And the Brewers threatening again an inning later. Curve bounces up there. Hitters count now for Ryan Braun. Segura at 2nd, Hector Gomez at 1st. Milwaukee trying to capitalize on what was a tailor-made double play. Was booted by the 2nd baseman Addison Russell. The 3-1 pitch. Bases loaded.
Yeah, that's the pitch that if you chase, he will wear you out. He'll keep throwing it all night, but Brewer hitters have laid off of it so far.
Here's Adam Lind with the bases loaded. Still nobody out. Mentioned those splits. Lind 5 for 18 against lefties this season. He only had 33 at-bats against lefties last year with the Blue Jays. Just 2 hits. He's been swinging so well. They need to keep him in the lineup, and he's proven in the limited opportunities that he can get to left-handers, at least early on this year as a Brewer.
And you have better chance against this guy when he's behind an account with the bases loaded. Better chance you're going to get a good pitch to hit.
And Travis Wood falls behind again. You'll see the numbers. Got to respect what Lynn can do as pitching coach. Chris Bosio makes a trip to the mound. And the Brewers down a run. We're early with a lot going on with the bases loaded. Nobody out. Saw this last night from Chris Bosio. Rocky, known him a long time.
Yeah.
He gets out there, he gets the word, and there's no middle ground there. You know where he's coming from.
Yeah, just throw a strike, let your defense work for you. And he's not a guy that's going to beat around the bush a whole lot. He's going to say it like it is, whether you like it or not.
That's right. And to tell you what he thinks you need to hear, not what you want to hear. 2-0 pitch to Adam Lind. Waves at it, does not get it.
Yeah, the cutter again. All three.
See if number 4 is in Adam Lind's future. 4 is in 4 grand slams. There's a 2-1. There's a shot right to Rizzo, and getting back is Ryan Braun. Bases stay loaded.
Good instincts by Braun, boy. That would have been a disaster had Braun been doubled off. Check it out. Rizzo behind the bag. That's the only saving grace. And Braun, good quickness to get back. Or that would have been an easy double play.
He heard that ball buzzing by him. And Rizzo there to make the catch. Here's Chris Davis. His second homer of the year last night. That was among his 4 hits. Infield single, advanced on a Starlin Castro throwing error to start the second inning. And scored on the Parra home run. Travis Wood in trouble again. Let's see if the Brewers can make him pay for it. Curve missed.
Yep, Adam Lind had a 2-0 count. He threw a cutter. See what he gives Davis.
Look into his catcher, Miguel Montero. (3-0) the count. Segura started the inning with a single to center. Gomez reached on an error. Braun walked.
Now does he swing 3-0?
I would guess not, but I'm usually wrong. I'm wrong again. There's a line drive left field. Extra bases, bounces over the wall.
That cost the Brewers a run.
Yep. A double for Davis. 2 instead of 3 will score. Swinging 3-0. Just like I said, 4-3, Brewers take the lead.
I'll tell you, 2 days ago he would have been swinging, but after a 4-hit game last night, Craig Counsell figured I'm going to let my hot hitter drive in some runs, and that's exactly what Chris Davis does. Hits a bullet on a 3-0 count, and one hops over the wall. Ryan Braun would have scored easily had that ball stayed in play.
Well, the Brewers regain the lead. Man, they are hitting some bullets off of Travis Wood, including Adam Lind, who hit a screamer to the first baseman Anthony Rizzo. Now here's Parra, who homered in the second. Travis Wood's struggles at Miller Park continue. He is 1-3 in his career in this ballpark. There's a fly ball back into center field. Fowler will have room. Braun will tag. He will score. Davis to third, and it's a 5-3 ball game.
Yeah, good job by Gerardo Parra. So the lefty's making some pretty good contact tonight. Adam Lynn with that line drive to Rizzo. Now Parra with his third RBI.
Three-run inning here for the Crew. Chris Davis standing over at third for Martin Maldonado. That slow curve, check it out, 66 miles per hour.
He's having a tough time getting ahead in the count in this inning. Falling behind just about everybody.
Pitch count getting up there. We're in inning number 3. Maldonado singled to left in the second. Here's 2-0. Last outing for Travis Wood was a tough one in St. Louis. 5+, gave up 6 runs. High scoring game. Cardinals fell behind early. Mark Reynolds hitting a grand slam. Having a comeback in a game St. Louis won 10-9.
5-4 after 1 inning.
Yeah, they got right to it. Not messing around a whole lot tonight. 3-1 pitch. Hit in the air to center. Dexter Fowler. That'll do it for the Brewers, but Crew coming out in attack mode as Gene Segura begins with a single. Chris Davis a big knock. Parra as well as the Brewers lead 5-3. The 4th inning at Miller Park. Tonight, Fox Sports Live gets caught up on a full night of NHL and NBA playoff action, plus highlights on tonight's Major League Baseball games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight at 10 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. You'll see it simulcast right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Bats are alive early on tonight, and here is Jorge Soler leading off the 4th inning for the Cubbies. Fly ball to left from him in the 2nd inning. And he smacks one down the line, and that's a fair ball. That's going to go to the corner, and that'll be a double for Soler to begin the 4th.
Well, settle in here, partner. Looks like we're in for a slugfest.
I think we are.
Offenses are getting some pretty good swings tonight. Look at Soler. is incredibly strong and just rips one a bullet down that left field line. They got out there in a hurry.
A lot of barreling up right now, both sides. There's Starlin Castro. Skied to center his first trip.
Kyle's just having a difficult time in the early going this year, getting the baseball down consistently like he did last year.
Well, the one outing where he had it going was against the Reds in an afternoon game at Miller Park, but has not been able to carry that over.
That's a good changeup on the outside corner. That's where you want it. Hitter gets that bat started early. You don't want to leave it inside. Gives him a chance to put the barrel on it.
Oh, 0-2 the count. The Cubs shortstop. Mentioned he made his debut 5 years ago, 5 years and 2 days. It's the most hits any player in the National League in that time, 880. A good offensive player, as we mentioned, can give you the good play, can commit the error that, as he did tonight, on a diving stop and the ball he should have just eaten, but airmailed it.
Yeah, Brewers have capitalized on a couple of Cub errors tonight.
As a matter of fact, the 5 runs, 3 are earned. But it's a good sign for this Brewers offense. Every team opens the door. They've been able to break through at least through the first 3 innings. Chris Davis carrying over from last night's 4-hit evening. 2-run double in the 3rd.
Yep, stay hot.
A ball, 2 strikes. That'll carry into the seats.
Castro, one of the toughest guys in all of baseball to walk. I mean, this is a guy that he'll go up there and hack. Doesn't mess around. He's only walked 4 times this year.
Yeah, he's the exception, or one of the exceptions. The Cubs as a team pretty patient. They're 3rd in walks in the National League, behind the Dodgers and the Nationals. Again, the 1-2 from Kyle Loesch. Ground ball, and it gets through and into right field. Here comes Soler. Here's the throw to the plate, wide, and the Cubs pull within 1. RBI single for Starlin Castro.
Yep, on a 1-2 pitch. Fastball away, but up again. You know, Loesch is really having a difficult time getting the baseball down. When you get that baseball down, you might get the swing and a miss. Just under the glove of Hector Gomez, he thought he should have had it, but into right field.
So a 5-4 game. Hit number 6 for the Cubs. Here's Chris Coughlin. Struck out in the 2nd. Castro with a couple of stolen bases in 4 attempts. Seems like Kyle, not every time, but when he does make the mistake, messes it up, he pays for it. There might be a time where it's a warning track fly or the hitter just misses, but he is, when it's up, he gets hurt. Doesn't get away with it much.
No. Well, he doesn't throw that hard. You're talking 89 to 90 miles an hour, and you leave a fastball over the plate, or you leave a breaking pitch or a cutter up in the zone. They're going to get hit hard. And he's going well. Everything around the knees.
Both pitchers getting knocked around here in the early innings tonight. 1-2 the count to Chris Coughlin, the left fielder. That year he had with the Rockies when he was the Marlins, I should say, the rookie of the year, hit .321. Last year was a .283 hitter. And right now just north of 200. Here's the 1-2.
And it's not like he's getting sporadic playing time. He's close to 100 plate appearances, and he's having a tough time getting going.
And they haven't had many struggling like that, but at the plate he has. There's a ground ball. Hector Gomez. And there's out number 1 as Castro moves to second.
Well, Happy Days in Keenan is tonight's Tavern of the Game winner. Keenan is in Price County. If they had Tavern Contact calls the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
North Central Wisconsin, up there a little bit, not all the way up.
Small town.
Well up there, yeah, a couple hundred, maybe 3.
Well, 40 of them will be coming down here soon.
That's exactly right.
If they call.
Welcome you to Miller Park. Travis Wood will fly out to center in the second or the third inning. Sent Parra back to the track. He has shown home run capability in his career. As we mentioned, 9 career homers for this pitcher. Just 2 for 18 so far at the plate this season.
A lot of times you'd have your pitcher going up there to bunt in these situations, but not with Wood at the plate. Joe Madden letting him swing away.
You see Loesch's pitch count here with 1 out in the 4th. Needed 105 pitches to get through 5 innings Monday night against the Dodgers. And the Brewers rallied from a 3-0 deficit to win. It's a thriller, 4-3. Not in front and missing is Travis Wood, 2-2.
You don't see too many pitchers throw changeups to the opposing pitcher when they're at the plate.
A little respect there.
A little respect for Wood as a hitter.
2-2 pitch coming. Got him swinging. 5th strikeout for Kyle Loesch. And there are 2 men out, with Castro still at second.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups. Got Wood on strikes.
Addison Russell, with that single, extends his hitting streak to 12 games. Suppose it's easy for some to overlook Russell with all the hype surrounding Chris Bryant. It seems every other day there is some sort of national column regarding Bryant, but Russell very, very highly regarded in his own right, and proven why.
Probably better for him that he's flying under the radar a bit, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Take the pressure off, let Bryant get all the limelight, go about your business, and let Bryant have all the pressure.
Russell, the natural shortstop, but playing second for the Cubs. Handful of games with the Iowa Cubs at second before his call up. First round pick by the A's back 3 years ago. It's part of that trade that involved Jeff Samardzija and Jason Hamill last July 5th. Speaking of Samardzija, we'll see him when the White Sox come to town. He is the probable on Monday night against Willie Peralta. 1-1 to Russell.
Yeah, Samardzija's earned run average up around 4.5. Unusual for him.
Yeah, they've struggled. Chris Sale listed as their probable for Tuesday, and people who follow this game know how good he can be. His ERA is near 6. A ball, 2 strikes to the Cubs second baseman. And did he go? No. White Sox lost that first game of the doubleheader with Cincinnati 10-4, and they are just getting started in game 2. Cardinals lead the Pirates 5-3. They're in the bottom of the 5th in Pittsburgh.
Martin Maldonado is convinced that that ball was foul tipped. Stalling for time to give the Brewers video group an opportunity to take a look at it. I would imagine that has got to be one of the more difficult things to prove. The foul tip, because foul tips that are caught are very almost just barely tipped on that bat.
We'll go ahead and play on. 2-2 pitch. And he got him. And they'll complete the strikeout. The inning over. So the Cubs get a run back, but the Brewers still lead by 1. Fourth here at Miller Park. Time now for our CarSoup.com trivia question. Who are the only 2 players in Cubs history with a greater slugging percentage than Aramis Ramirez? Need at least 1,500 plate appearances here for this question. The only 2 players in Cubs history with a greater slugging percentage than Aramis Ramirez.
That's pretty good question.
Yeah, it is. It's further evidence of just the quality of career that Ramirez is having in this season, the final year of it. Elian Herrera leads things off 8-9-1 for the Brewers.
You just have to go back over 100 years. It's no big deal. You can pour through those guys, can't you?
Sure.
Maybe Hack Wilson.
There you go. We always like to drop a little help for you if we can. 1-1 to Herrera.
Ernie Banks is always a good answer to every Cubs question.
It's a year they are honoring, they are dedicating
right
to the late Ernie Banks.
Cover the media guide for the Cubs this year. Mr. Cub.
Catch made. Nice grab. Had the glove. He was ready for just such an opportunity. Sign him up. Ball 2 strikes to Elian Herrera. Into a fielder's choice in the second inning. And Mr. Cub, 14-time All-Star. Let's Play 2 always brightened everyone's day who had ever had any interaction with him, if you knew him just a little or knew him really well. Strike 3 called to Herrera. Out number 1 in the 4th.
Travis Wood, we talked about the fact he likes to pitch inside. That one right at the bottom of the strike zone. Fox Tracks had it in the strike zone, just at the bottom. Insult to injury watching Tom Hallion ring you up.
It's gotta hurt.
He'll walk off and say, hey, don't enjoy that so much. Come on. You love his enthusiasm, though.
I said there are some who barely move, and then you have Tom Hallion.
He likes his job. I mean, he enjoys it.
I always thought it's fun to watch people who love what they do. Even if they're umpires or officials in football or basketball. Just converse. 2-0 pitch.
And when I think about umpires that loved what they did, and a lot of guys come to mind, but Steve Palermo was the guy back in my day that I was the best umpire year after year. Enthusiasm, clapping the hands on and off the field, and just enjoyed every minute of being out there on the field umpiring.
And I would imagine a consistency to how he worked too, right?
Yep.
Those nights he was behind the plate.
Yeah, good demeanor. I mean, you can give him the business from time to time, and if he'd miss a pitch, he'd tell you back there. Tell you quietly, wouldn't tell everybody, but yeah, I missed that one.
3-2 pitch to Kyle Loesch. Got him swinging.
Hey, looking for the perfect venue to host your next group event with incredible views, exclusive amenities, and complimentary food and beverage. Miller Park's 5 spectacular all-inclusive areas are sure to leave a lasting impression. For details, visit brewers.com/all-in.
I've always thought, and you can speak to this far better than I could ever dream, that some of the best stories that come up in baseball can come from umpires. If you're just talking about the game and the characters of it,
right?
Imagine all the quote discussions.
There were some real characters back in those days.
Gene Segura.
And you know, you really got to know those guys really well because they were American League umpires and National League umpires.
Right.
I mean, you saw the same guys all year.
You see the differences too. I remember in my history here, the American League umpires, the chest protector would be outside, right?
Yep,
would be
the blue
exposed.
chest protector.
And
Yep.
the National League umpire covered.
Yep. There's where the high ball league, the low ball league came in.
Segura with a fly ball to left field. Back goes Coughlin. Look at that, gone. Gene Segura goes downtown, and the Brewers lead 6-4.
A completely different hitter this year than he was a year ago. Fastball down and in. Look at the way he waits back, and he drops the head of the bat on it. Weight on the back foot, and he just drives it out of here to left field. Good adjustment for Segura from last year to this year.
Second home run for Segura. Here's Hector Gomez. He'll lift one into right field. Soler will squeeze it, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the 4th. But Segura with his second long ball. The Brewers lead 6-4.
presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And the Brewers Community Foundation is excited to feature the BCF Ultimate Auction, presented by the 2015 Leadership Council. The auction goes through May 12th and allows fans to go online and bid on exclusive Brewers-related packages, including the owner's experience, which allows 5 guests to watch a game from Mark and Debbie Adonasio's exclusive front row seats. You can also grab grub with Brian and Bill in the press box, a Miller Park roof tour, pottery with Scooter Jeanette, and a Whistling Straits package, to name just a few. All of the proceeds for the Ultimate Auction will support BCF in their effort to fund quality nonprofits in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs.
All right, Sophia, thanks. You know, BA's had all this time off. I think you could up the ante, make it extra special.
Make him do some extra stuff?
I would think, yeah.
He's got to be feeling pretty fresh. I mean, all this time off.
Well, I know. He's just calling basketball.
Right.
I mean, heck, I could do that.
How long does that take? 2 hours?
That's a couple hours. You're in and out. You know, jumper good, jumper no good, rebound so-and-so. Back and forth you go. Be a big night for
that. We have to get that bidding up there on the grab some grub, visit to the booth.
Sure.
We always include a visit to the production truck, see who does really all the work in these broadcasts.
And they do.
No doubt.
Dexter Fowler with a very high fly ball. Ryan Braun will handle it. First out of the inning.
You know, last year Sophia joined us for dinner. How about you? You want to come down?
Well, you know, BA.
That's a yes or no question.
Yes, I do. In fact, it was offered last year, and then I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but I don't want to name names, but BA never got back in touch to get that finalized.
I'll let
that all
you know.
arranged.
I'll take care of that.
Will you handle that?
Yep,
okay.
I will. Yep.
All right. As I said, though, if you're trying to raise money, I don't know if bringing me in the fold is going to help a lot.
That'll do it. Believe me. I've been walking around the concourses with you now for about a month, and I know that you carry some weight. Folks love you, man.
Right. Chris Bryant. BA will be back in the next road trip.
Be in New York on Friday, right?
Yeah. Look forward to you guys getting the 18 back. This has been fun. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, me
too. Good to get BA back, and he's seen enough NBA playoffs. He'll get back to Brewer baseball
and get you off to vacation, right?
I'll have a little downtime.
Have you had any downtime since when?
Last
August?
July, early August, something like that. If you want to call all this work, it's been
right. I hear you.
A nice, fun transition from the NCAA tournament and right into this. The greatest office, as you say.
Isn't it something?
Yeah, it really is. I think there's a big crowd here tonight. Brewers, Cubs. If you like offense, you're at the right place here tonight. Kyle Loesch trying to quiet that Cubs offense. Bryant, his last at bat, had his first big league homer, and this time he pops it up. And Braun again. 2 men out.
Yeah, Kyle knows he got away with one man. That was a hanging curveball. Got it in enough to jam Bryant, but you don't want to live too often up there with Bryant at the plate.
Yeah, there's one of those exceptions because it seems 9 times out of 10 he pays for it, but it was that other time. So fly to shallow right off the bat of Chris Bryant, and here's Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo 0 for 2 tonight. But always dangerous. Rizzo has 10 homers in his young career against the Brewers. This is his 46th game against Milwaukee. Homered last night.
Yeah, hit some homers last year against Milwaukee. Guy can hit. Let's face it, he hits everybody.
He was one of those talking about Chris Bryant in a Sports Illustrated story this week, saying that the pub is probably unfair. It's been so much directed to Bryant, but Rizzo has talked about how Bryant has handled all of this so well.
He dealt with it himself.
Yeah, he did. 2-1.
All the hype, you know, the Cubs have a history of all that. Kerry Wood, remember Mark Pryor, those guys, they come up expected to be world beaters right away. It's not that easy.
No, as time goes, it'll be interesting to see the adjustments and how the cat and mouse game that goes on with the young hitters. As Rizzo with his first hit of the night, 2-out single.
You see a lot of hitters come up and they start out pretty well. Then the league starts to make adjustments, and it takes young hitters a little bit more time to make those adjustments than it takes for big league pitching to do it. The way scouting reports are and video, and you got scouts in the stands knowing what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. There's no secrets anywhere.
More challenging than ever.
There's another guy that came up with a lot of fanfare.
Yeah, Castro. Only 25. Who's Miguel Montero? Montero is single to right, struck out in the third. Loesch retired the Cubs in order in the first and has not been able to do that since, but trying to keep them off the board. The Cubs put 3 runs on the board in the third and another in the fourth.
Yeah, closing in on 100 pitches again for Loesch early in the game.
Here's the 1-1 to Montero. The Brewers bullpen last night used Will Smith and Brandon Kinsler. It's not going to be quiet much longer. Here's the 1-2. It's starting to stir a little bit. Loesch's next pitch will be his 99th. Rizzo, the runner at first with 2 men out. The 2-2. And that gets by Maldonado, and Rizzo moves on to second.
Man, that should be a pass ball on Martin. That was a slider that was in off the plate. Should have had it off the end of the glove. Cut fastball that he was expecting that was going to be up in the zone. That one down and in.
That will be a pass ball. In the meantime, a full count to Miguel Montero. Runners are at first and second. A heavy workload tonight for Kyle Loesch.
He's still trying to figure out the bullpen pattern, or the way Kerry Counsell is going to be comfortable in setting it up. You can see Jeremy Jeffress getting loose already in the 5th inning. This was ordinarily would have been a Michael Blazek opportunity this early in the game. Every manager has a different way that they see their bullpen working out, and Craig Counsell is still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, Jeffress pitched a couple of days ago in the series finale against the Dodgers. Blazek has not worked since Tuesday, but yeah, it's part of the fascinating aspects of this game to see in a change like this how Craig Counsell wants to use the bullpen. Hopefully he can get through this inning without using it, but the Cubs are threatening again.
Yeah.
Kyle Loesch serving up his first walk.
Back end of the bullpen is not going to change too much, in a winning scenario, but middle relief could be worked a little bit differently.
There's Jorge Soler, who doubled in the 4th. There's as Rock mentioned, this is a powerful guy, and you get a good look at him here. He's homered 3 times this season. Homered 5 times in his 24 games with the Cubs last August and September.
Yeah, he got off to a terrific start. His first couple of weeks were pretty good.
Ball a strike. Loesch, his last outing on Monday, 5 innings, 105 pitches. Prior to that at Cincinnati, threw a season high 116 pitches in 7 innings.
Yeah, this could very well be his last hitter. And Jeremy Jeffress appears to be ready down in that bullpen. Pitch count over 100. I don't think Craig Counsell wants to mess around too much.
Dangerous situation here with 2 on and a 2-1 count to Soler. Cubs with 7 hits. They've committed a couple of errors. Brewers have been able to capitalize. Kyle Loesch trying to keep his team ahead by 2. Here's the 2-2. Soler just gets a piece.
Yeah, good pitch off the outside corner with a slider, and Soler just barely able to get a piece of it. Well, Loesch doesn't want to go 3-2 here to allow the runners to get a head start. Wants to get him on this 2-2 pitch.
Starlin Castro is on deck. Soler has been a pretty hot hitter over the last 8+ games. 1 for 2 tonight. 12 of his last 31 over the last 8+. Rizzo at second. Montero the runner at first. A lot of offense here so far, and the Cubs have another threat going. Again, the 2-2. Got him swinging on the change. Good work by Kyle Loesch getting out of trouble. Brewers lead 6-4. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. 6-4, Brewers lead the Cubs. We move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Kyle Loesch able to work out of some trouble in the top half of this inning. Fighting his way through, his team up by a couple. Travis Wood's night is done. Rough night for the Cubs starters, so now a former starter on the mound, Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, his 8th appearance. He finally gave up some runs. He's got that 186 earned run average. Took the loss Tuesday in St. Louis after allowing a couple of earned runs. The only runs he's allowed so far this year. For 6 outings, that covered 9 innings.
Braun, Lind, and Davis in the 5th. Travis Wood goes 4 innings, gives up 6 hits, like number of runs, 4 of which are earned. A walk and 3 strikeouts.
His last 4 starts against the Brewers, 20 runs allowed in 19 and 3rd innings.
Yeah, they have knocked him around. His ERA, talking about Travis Wood, in the 3 starts last year was 8.22. 0-1 pitch to Braun. Edwin Jackson, been a starter, signed a big contract a couple of years ago with the Cubs, a 4-year deal, and then went out in 2013 and led the league in losses. He was 8-18, 6-15 a year ago. He comes out of the bullpen, and as Rock gave you his numbers, maybe not a bad spot for him. The loss on Tuesday notwithstanding. He had made at least 27 starts each of the last 8 years.
He throws a fastball in the mid-90s. He will cut the fastball. And he'll throw a changeup. That's the pitch he just threw to Braun.
"31 years old. Drafted by the Dodgers back in 01. 3-1 pitch. Brewers with 2 runs in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 1 more in the 4th. Home run power tonight. Gerardo Parra, his first of the year. Gene Segura, his 2nd. Braun, a ground ball to short, walked in the 3rd. 6 runs, 6 hits for the Crew. 4 runs, 7 hits for Chicago. 3-2 pitch. And Braun draws his 2nd walk of the game. Well, that's how the 5th begins for Milwaukee. Here's Adam Lind. Hit a laser right to Anthony Rizzo his last trip. It's with the bases loaded. Ryan Braun, who was the runner at first, was just able to get back and avoid a double play.
And now in more familiar surroundings with the right-hander out there, Edwin Jackson is a guy that will walk you. I mean, he has always had control issues. He threw a no-hitter for the Diamondbacks, right? Walked 9 guys.
Right. That's your most conventional no-hitter, but no-hitter it was.
That's right.
Two balls, no strikes. The Cubs staff has been pretty good at avoiding walks, 3rd in the league. Jackson, an all-star in 2009. I really thought he'd be an answer in that starting rotation in Chicago, and that obviously has not been the case. And now 3-0 to Adam Lind.
Well, we saw Chris Davis get the green light on 3-0. Adam Lind's been swinging the bat well all year. He might give him the green light here. Why not?
Yeah. I guess wrong with Davis.
What's your guess this time?
I say let her rip. so he'll take all the way. But I'm going to stick with it. Let her rip, Adam.
Well, some guys just don't like to swing 3-0. Ryan Braun's one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll get the green light, but they just don't like to swing 3-0.
Runner goes. Pitch is taken. Ball 4. I'm going to roll.
That wasn't even close.
Nope.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Here's Chris Davis. Take a look at Jimmy John's delivery of the game. And this is what Chris Davis did in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded. It was unfortunate that it bounced over the wall because of a 2-run double. Instead of a 2-run double, would have been 3 had it bounced off the wall. But nonetheless, a couple of RBIs. Davis 2 for 2 tonight. Coming off a 4 for 5 night last night. So he is heating up.
And he's about as streaky as any hitter on the Brewers roster. Get him in one of these good stretches, he can carry it for a little bit. Just can't find a strike, can he?
He cannot. Back-to-back walks from Jackson to begin the inning, and I'm going to say it's going to be a conversation with Chris Bosio, but this will be a monologue, I think, not a dialogue.
Yeah, 12 pitches, only 3 strikes so far for Edwin Jackson.
It's Phil Koch getting loose in the Cubs bullpen. Edwin Jackson has pitched himself into a jam. He's walked Braun and Adam Lind. Chris Davis looking for his 3rd hit of the night, if he gets a pitch to hit. It's worth noting Davis homered for the 2nd time this year last night. So it's been quiet on the power numbers for Davis so far, but still you go back to July of 2013. He's still in the top 4 among outfielders in home runs.
Good year last year.
There's a fly ball left center field to the gap, and that's off the bottom of the wall. Braun around to score. Lind will be held at 3rd. Run scoring double for Chris Davis. 3 for 3 tonight.
How about him? 7 hits in 2 games. And boy, how quick is that bat on that fastball? Edwin Jackson trying to get the fastball by him, and boy, not a lot of movement, not much of a stride for Davis. And watch how quickly that bat gets through the strike zone and barrels it up. Keeps those hands close to the body. That way you're able to keep that pitch in on you fair. Another hit for Chris Davis and another RBI.
And it will be a short night's work for Edwin Jackson. He faces 3 hitters, walks 2, gives up a run scoring double to Chris Davis. The Brewers lead 7-4. Exit Edwin Jackson. Pitching change here in Milwaukee. Hotel and Casino. Brewers leading by 3 and looking to extend it even further. And Phil Koch now on the mound for the Cubbies.
Yep, and earned run average over 5. You can see the strikeouts. He can throw it up there pretty good for a left-hander. Mid-90s fastball. Look at the opponent batting average, 351, which means he's probably getting behind in the count. In appearance number 15, last pitch Koch did on May 5th at St. Louis.
And he will face Gerardo Parra as you see the Cubs bringing the infield in. Parra's had a good night so far. Looking to continue it right now. Lynn, the runner, at third. Chris Davis is at second. Edwin Jackson walks 2, gives up a double. He gives way to Phil Koch. And here's what happened earlier in the second inning with another look presented by Columbia St. Mary's. First long ball of the year for Gerardo Parra.
Getting a start against a left-handed pitcher. Carlos Gomez not able to go today. And he comes through.
Add to that a sacrifice fly in the third inning. Driven in 3 tonight. Chance to pick up a couple of more. The ball is strike. Phil Koch, last 5 years with the Tigers. Prior to that with the Yankees. Two balls, 1 strike. Travis Wood went the first 4. Edwin Jackson faced 3 hitters, failed to retire 1. So the Brewers digging into that Chicago bullpen. 2-1 pitch. Parra shoots it foul and out of play.
That pitch right on the outside corner. Gerardo just able to get a piece of it. Got that arm angle, this Koch, that makes it tough on left-handed batters. You're going to concentrate on keeping that front shoulder closed, trying to cover that outside corner.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Phil Koch and his first hitter runs it full.
Everything away to Parra here. Every pitch.
You see that Cubs infield. See if Parra can shoot one through it. Here's the payoff. Lifted to left. And this will carry into the seats. Big crowd here at Miller Park. And so far, so good for the home team, but a long way to go on a night where the offenses have been alive. Feel like you have to cash in when the chances are there, and the Brewers have a run across.
They take advantage of every opportunity that they've had tonight.
We have. Cubs have committed a couple of errors. Brewers have made them pay for that. 3-2 pitch again. Good matchup here. Phil Koch and Gerardo Parra.
Parra's not really worried too much about Koch coming inside on him because he's able to foul these pitches off that are on the edge, the outside corner.
So once again, 3-2 pitch coming. This would be an extended at bat, they would say, that Gerardo Parra has going. Good at bat.
Yeah, that pitch was inside, so he was able to foul that one off. The more you give at bats to guys like Lynn and Parra against left-handers, the better chance they have.
They get that look, and he is seeing a lot of pitches. And this at bat is Gerardo Parra. Koch cannot get him out.
Can't shake him, can he?
No.
Pitch number 10 coming up.
Terrific matchup here. Gerardo Parra getting that starting call in center. The second straight night. Carlos Gomez, chance he'll be back in there tomorrow. Parra has driven in 3 and engaged in a good battle with Phil Koch. Again, the 3-2. That's quite an at-bat. Bases loaded.
And 3 walks and a double for this Brewers offense in this 5th inning. Boy, what a great at-bat for Gerardo Parra. Lefty versus lefty. You're talking about a battle at the plate. That's a definition of digging your nose in there and doing the best you can. And he's able to draw a walk.
Bases are loaded. Still nobody out for the Brewers in the 5th. Here's how it looks. Chance for the Crew to bust it open a little bit. Cub relievers having a world of trouble finding a strike zone. Edwin Jackson with a couple of walks, and Koch, after a long battle with Parra, lost him on a base on balls. 1-0 to Maldonado. To center field. Fowler will have room. He'll make the catch. The tag. Lind is in, and it's an 8-4 ball game.
Yep, taking advantage of all their opportunities. So productive out. Good base running by Chris Davis. Scouting report on Fowler is that the arm is average at best. So that's a fly ball. You're not going to see too many guys taking third base on, but Fowler not blessed with the strongest throwing arm, and Davis able to get into scoring position over there at third.
If the script is flipped, you have somebody like Gerardo Parra out there in center.
Staying put.
You are absolutely staying put. Runners at the corners with 1 out. Here's Elian Herrera. Cubs infield still in. 4-run lead for the Crew. Those 6 RBIs on the year for Herrera. Remember, 5 came in 1 game. Cincinnati had a grand slam. A big blow off of Burke Badenhop. That was in that slugfest a couple weeks back. The Brewers putting runs on the board tonight in every inning except the first.
Just needs a bloop over the infield right now.
Big cut, fouls it back. Kyle Loesch is on deck.
Jeremy Jeffers still throwing down in that bullpen.
Loesch already in triple digits on the pitch count. 1-1 the count. Sharply hit to Bryant, and Davis has to hold, and the play is at first.
That's some good base running by Davis. Ground ball to third base. You're told to go back. Ordinarily, you take off to stay out of the double play, but the fact it was down the line like that, Davis figuring he's not going to be able to turn 2. Only able to get Herrera at first base. Good base running.
Smart fundamentals right there. Parra at second. We'll go ahead and pull Kyle Loesch, pinch hitter for the Brewers. Jason Rogers. So Loesch's night is done. 5 innings, gives up 4 runs. This team out in front 8-4, and let's see if Jason Rogers can extend this advantage. Davis at third, Parra at second. Rogers as a pinch hitter is 3 for 11 this season. Pitch from Coke.
And Rogers uses the whole field pretty well. You can see how the way the Cubs defense is set. I mean, that's about as straight away as you're going to see any team play a hitter. And Addison Russell just a little bit up the middle.
One pitch. Rogers pinch hitting for the second straight night. Into a force in his appearance last evening. Three walks in this inning from Cubs pitching. 2 served up by Jackson, 1 from Coke. Maldonado with a sacrifice fly. There's a drive left center field, and that is gone. Jason Rogers, a pinch hit home run, and the Brewers break it open in the 5th. First big league home run for Jason Rogers. 11-4 Milwaukee.
A big 2-out, 3-run home run in a 5-run inning for Milwaukee. How about the kid, Jason Rogers? How strong is he? Nice, quick with the hands on the inside part of the plate. And drills it into the Brewers bullpen. Well, how good does that have to feel for Jason Rogers? He's had some really good at-bats since coming up.
Yeah, we have said a lot that he has made good contact on outs. And this one was out of the yard. Segura with a ground ball to short. Inning over, but the home run power continues. Jason Rogers goes deep for the first time in his big league career. It's a 3-run blast. Make it 11-4 Milwaukee. Jason Rogers, his first career homer, a 3-run shot, 11-4 the Crew. Carsoup.com trivia question a couple innings ago. The question tonight is, who are the only 2 players in Cubs history with a greater slugging percentage than Aramis Ramirez? Rock dropped a little Hack Wilson knowledge on you.
How do you forget about Sammy Sosa?
Yeah.
Come on.
True.
My apologies, Sammy, wherever you are.
Aramis Ramirez, again, very, very good career that he is having, and hopefully will conclude on a good note. Jeremy Jeffress now on the mound for the Brewers.
Yeah, good numbers for Jeremy. 17th appearance. That leads the National League out of the bullpen in appearances. A 368 earned run average for Jeremy, and he's given up a couple of home runs so far this year. Yeah, Jeffress last pitched on Thursday against the Dodgers, gave up a couple of runs in an inning of work.
So Kyle Loesch goes 5. So 7 hits, 4 runs. 7 strikeouts for Loesch, which is a season high. Starlin Castro will lead things off for the Cubs. Like mentioned Jeffress' last outing, that was a big offensive day for the Dodgers. They put 14 runs on the board. Well, the Brewers have brought out the bats tonight. Both the Cubs and Brewers were retired in order in the first inning.
And who would have thought, right?
Right.
Got Ramirez and Gomez on the bench. Lucroy on the disabled list. Got a couple of left-handers in the lineup that ordinarily wouldn't be in there. Parra, Lind. And they both have come up big, especially Parra tonight.
His first home run of the year. Brewers have 11 runs on 8 hits. There's a ground ball to Segura. 1 out.
Well, looking for the best deal on Brewers tickets. Brewers Dynamic Deals highlight the best seats at the lowest prices, so you can be sure that you're getting a great deal and value. To find dynamic deals starting as low as $9 per ticket, visit brewers.com/deals.
Yeah, great night to be at the ballpark. It always is. Brewers and Cubs. Good night so far for the Crew as Chris Coughlin steps in. Brewers have done a very good job of making the Cubs pay for mistakes, be they the 2 errors or in the last inning 3 walks given up. Ground ball to second. That's Hector Gomez. 2 outs.
Yeah, the Brewers have walked 4 times tonight, and all 4 walks have scored.
That's
taking advantage of that. Been good with runners in scoring position. 4 hits, 4 for 5, and all of them extra bases, 2 homers and 2 doubles. And they've only stranded 2 runners.
as opposed to 9 they left on base last night, including 2 in the 9th inning.
And we're in the 5th inning.
Right.
Got some time to go. Got to keep it going.
Very true. Jonathan Herrera pinch hitting now for Chicago. Jeffress trying to put the Cubs down in order. Something that has not happened since the first inning. But Loesch was able to get that done. Herrera signed as a free agent back in December. Was with the Red Sox a year ago. Solid utility player for the Cubs now. 0-2 the count. Bouncing ball. That's Segura charging. Nice easy inning for Jeremy Jeffress here in the 6th. Bottom of the 6th we go. 11-4 the Brewers. Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. 11-4 Brewers lead the Cubs. Check it out. Who needs running shoes? Who needs running shorts? The chorizo in jeans. Victorious tonight. Very impressive.
Yeah, good race though. The Clements famous racing sausages tonight.
Jonathan Herrera will stay in the game for the Cubs. He at second. Addison Russell will move over to short. We'll set the rest of that up for you. Jason Mott now on the mound.
Decent numbers from Mott, coming off of Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago. A .355 earned run average for Mott in his 14th appearance.
And Hector Gomez will lead things off.
Jason Mott, the former Cardinal closer.
And there you see the rest of the changes for the Cubs. It's Wellington Castillo now behind the plate. The Cubs carry 3 catchers. Montero, who started, Castillo, who's in now, and David Ross. Wellington Castillo. The Brewers in the 5th inning scored 5 times.
Yeah, he was the everyday catcher for the Cubs for a couple of years. Now he's 3 on the depth chart, having a difficult time finding playing time.
Gets a chance now. And the Brewers lead big, but still only in the 6th inning. Jeremy Jeffress putting the Cubs down in order in the top half of the inning. Only the 2nd time the Cubs have been set down 1-2-3. Old chopper rolling foul. For that matter, the only time the Brewers were retired in order was the 1st. That's the only inning they haven't scored.
Yeah, that's a good job by Jeffress, just keeping that momentum in that first base dugout.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Get him down and keep him down. That was an important inning.
Kyle Lohse grinding through his 5 innings. Travis Wood struggled, and the bullpen didn't help. Edwin Jackson and Phil Koch combined to walk 3. All came in. Ball, 2 strikes to Gomez. Line drive snagged by Addison Russell at short, out number 1. Ryan Braun, he has worked a couple of walks tonight. To add to the 2 he had last night, in addition to the 2 hits, a double and a homer. Lennon runs on 8 hits for the Crew. 4, 7, and 2 errors for the Cubs. Braun's average now at 240. With 16 RBIs. That walk in the 5th started the inning. Turned into a 5-run inning. Mott still bringing it mid-90s. Like I said, the former closer. Mott led the league in saves 3 years ago with 42.
This gives you a little bit of that intimidation factor when he's squinting in like that, like he can't see anything.
Yeah.
Throwing 95 miles an hour.
And another in the long line of big league players with big league beards. A lot of them going now. Braun goes the other way, and a base hit for Ryan Braun, his first of the night. Every weekday, gear up for the racing season with NASCAR Race Hub, with the best coverage, biggest names, and the most access. It's the daily show of record for NASCAR Nation. It's NASCAR Race Hub, weeknight 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
You know what it is tonight, don't you? the SpongeBob SquarePants 400. That's what I'm told. They're telling me in my headsets. I'm not sure if they're messing with me or not. Because I'm not a big racing fan. I do watch it once in a while.
Right. I thought I read that somewhere.
SpongeBob SquarePants, huh?
I thought I read that somewhere. I believe they are telling you.
Is that accurate?
I believe they are. It's the 400 or the 500?
400.
There you go.
Look at I'm told it's the 400. They might be completely messing with me. I have no idea.
We'll effort that.
I trust them down there impeccably, but sometimes I think
I know. I understand. Adam Lind with a fly ball to right field. Soler out number 2. There's Chris Davis. Cubs still trying to get him out. 4 hits last night at the plate, presented by Wendy's, and this is what Chris Davis has done tonight. 3 more hits, including a couple of doubles. Swing and a miss. Oh, 0-1 the count. Davis has driven in 3, scored a couple of runs. Ryan Braun, the runner at first. More on Chris Davis. Let's check in with Sophia.
Matt, Craig Counsell saying that Chris Davis is certainly a unique bat in the Brewers lineup because of his setup, his approach, the way he loads in the zone, and he said in batting practice he's so good at going opposite field. And interesting that Davis came into this week. He snapped an 0-for-18 streak Thursday against the Dodgers. Now he has 7 hits in his last 2 games, and Counsell said when he gets that power stroke going, he truly is a difference maker. When he's locked in, you just know that runs are going to come across the board, and we've seen that here the last 2 games.
Yeah, you're right. I enjoyed that in the Brewers Live pregame. And Sophia was talking about that, and Craig Counsell saying there's hot streaks from him. That means runs. And that has exactly been the case these last couple of nights.
And his power is a difference maker, and they need him to stay hot. Get everybody healthy. Get your guys that are supposed to be driving in runs, have them do that, and see what happens.
Ball 2 strikes to the Brewers left fielder. 7 for his last 8. 1-2. Mott misses away.
Different uni. What do we got going there? Somebody's out of uniform.
It didn't match. Cubs and Chicago. Can't even dress them up sometimes.
Did anybody really notice, you think, in that dugout, or they just... Everybody else is wearing the Cubs.
Yeah. Little mix and match going with the attire tonight for Chicago. Davis trying to hold up, and he does on 3-2. So the Brewers have runners at first and second. There's Gerardo Parra. He too is having a good night. That home run is first of the year. That opened up the scoring in the second inning. So Braun a single, Chris Davis a walk, 2 on and 2 out here in the 6th. Cubs bullpen having some problems finding the strike zone. They have served up 3 walks, 2 from Edwin Jackson, who faced 3 hitters, didn't retire any of them. 2 walks and a double from Davis. Phil Koch walked a hitter, and now Jason Mott has done the same in the 6th.
Yep, and so far they've all scored.
Parra has driven in 3 tonight. He has scored 2 runs. And Mott with a look of frustration out on the mound. Two balls, no strikes to Gerardo Parra. The former closer is struggling here in the 6th. Taking all the way is Parra. Here we go, the 3-1. Ground ball off the glove of Rizzo, a base hit. Here comes Braun, and make it a 12-4 ball game as Gerardo Parra comes through again.
Another RBI for Parra. That's 4 tonight. He's been on base in every one of his official at-bats. And that one just off the edge of the glove of Anthony Rizzo and driving in Ryan Braun, who singled with 1 out. Brewers continue to excel in at-bats with runners in scoring position.
Carlos Gomez enjoying it.
It's now 5 for 6. Make that 5 for 7.
Runners at first and third for Martin Maldonado. So the Cubs bullpen really struggling, as did their starter tonight, Travis Wood. Brewers with 12 runs on 10 hits. Here's the 1-0. This has popped up. It'll be in play. Rizzo will call for it. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the 6th. But they get another run and they lead it 12-4.
Inning, and as Craig Counsell settles into the new managerial role in his first week, he was asked about, for as many lineup changes as he has to deal with, how comfortable he's feeling with figuring out all of the bullpen roles. And he says right now he feels pretty comfortable, and he said if anything, last night's game just re-indicated to him how important that bullpen is. He says everyone has such an important role in that pen. He says we're going to ask them to pitch a lot of innings, and he said whether we're down, up, down or up 2 or 3 runs, whatever the score is, he said each out is so meaningful. They had a few defensive errors that cost them a few runs, and he said the bullpen guys need to figure that out as well, that they need to help each other out. They all have equally important roles. And he said, look, bottom line, it's easier to come back if you're down 2 versus down 4, and a lot of that comes down to how the bullpen closes out games.
Hey, right. Brewers were down 4 going into the bottom of the 9th, made it a 1-run game. A couple breakdowns really costly. Michael Blazek now on the mound here for the Crew.
Yeah, they talk about pitching and defense, but really in this day and age, it really comes down to your bullpen. These guys normally are going to eat up 3 or 4 innings a night. I mean, not just the Brewers, but just about every team. Every now and again, you're going to get a long start. Not many complete games. As Michael Blazek continues here, he has been outstanding so far this year. Made the team out of spring training and has been a nice surprise.
Yeah, he had a stretch of 9 straight scoreless outings that was snapped on Tuesday in the game against the Dodgers, but he has been just terrific. He's facing Addison Russell to begin the 7th inning. Fly ball to center. Routine for Parra. 1 away.
Hey, it's not too late to reserve your spot at Miller Park this Mother's Day. That's tomorrow. The Brewers wrap up their series against the Cubs, and all fans in attendance will get a special Mother's Day bobble hank courtesy of Pick and Save. Visit Brewers.com for tickets. And here he is.
Right there.
He is a good-looking dog, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Bobble Hank, the ballpark pup.
Tomorrow. Get here.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Look forward to it tomorrow. Be a big crowd again at Miller Park. See if the Brewers can continue to take care of business tomorrow to set up the rubber match tomorrow afternoon. Dexter Fowler, and that is a fair ball down the line. Braun chasing it down in the corner. Fowler will get a double. His 2nd double of the night. Well, he is 2 for 4, and well, Blazek will work against Chris Bryant. His first big league homer in the 3rd inning. It's a 3-run shot. It gave the Cubs a 3-2 lead, but it was a lead they held just briefly. Brewers counterpunched hard in the bottom of the inning with 3 runs. And in fact, Milwaukee has scored every inning except the 1st.
It's been a nice consistent attack both at the top of the order and the bottom tonight.
No 1 pitch. Blazek going to work against him.
A couple of good sliders off the plate.
Bryant has not struck out tonight, but he is prone to it. 29 punch outs and 75 at bats. Here's a 2-strike pitch. Worked him away.
It'll be a learning process for him. I mean, I think that the league is, figured out some tendencies for Bryant. They're exploiting it. That's what happens in the major leagues. I mean, you show them that you have a weakness, they are going to kill you with it. It's going to have to make some adjustments.
1-2. Fastball is upstairs.
Yeah, now that he's got that first home run, I think he's going to relax a little bit, and I think they're going to start coming in bunches. Just a hunch.
Yeah.
He's done it everywhere he's been.
43 last year between Double and Triple A. Blazek ready to bring the 2-2. It's roped foul. Chris Bryant from Las Vegas area. Called up, made his big league debut 3 weeks ago yesterday.
It didn't help him to take off the pressure that they put him in the cleanup spot.
Yeah. We've had him second in the order the last couple of games. 2-2 pitch. Yeah, they jumped him right in there. And by they, I guess I should say he, Joe Madden. And all right, he's up. Let's get him right into the mix at Wrigley Field. They say he is built to handle all of that. Chris Bryant. Billboards already up with him. And kinds of jerseys. Saw him in mass last weekend at Wrigley Field. A lot of Chris Bryant apparel.
Yep, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks, but he's hitting .280. 17 RBIs, nothing wrong with that.
No.
And he really hasn't gotten going, really. You know, with the long ball, except for tonight. There you go.
The next big thing. More low-key, though, than some you might see. It's just his nature. We talked about last night. That's his father, a hitting instructor, demands that. Doesn't want a whole lot of the showmanship. 3-2 pitch. Got him swinging. 2 men out here in the 7th.
Yeah, fastball. Yeah, middle away, and this is normally the hot zone for Chris Bryant. Maybe looking slider in the back of his mind, because that's all Blazer going to throw to him for strikes. Got the fastball by him at 94 miles an hour.
It's the 8th strikeout for Brewers pitching. Kyle Osha, season high 7 in 5 innings of work. Here's Rizzo. Six homers, 17 RBIs for the Cubs first baseman. Dexter Fowler, a 1-out double. Still there at second with 2 outs in the 7th. Curve misses, 2-0. Last night it was the Cubs with the home run bats, and well, Bryant has his, but the Brewers also have played long ball tonight. 2-0 pitch. There's a bouncing ball charging. Gomez got to hurry. Gets it there in time. Side retired. So they get a double, nothing else. 7th inning stretch, 12-4 Brewers. Inning. Every weeknight, don't miss MLB Whip Around on Fox Sports 1 with highlights, instant analysis, and live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around weeknights 6 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. There you go. All dressed up for a night out at Miller Park. Well, the Cubs have been going deep into the bullpen tonight, and now James Russell brought back up. Big Club is on the mound here for the Cubbies. You see his third appearance of the year. As the Brewers have gotten to Edwin Jackson, Phil Koch, and Jason Mott so far this evening. Russell coming up from AAA Iowa on Tuesday. A couple of other changes here for the Cubs. Chris Coughlin has moved from left field to first base, and that's Caesar now in at left field. So a lot of moving parts here for the Cubs these last couple of innings. And Leon Herrera will lead things off. The Brewers have scored in every inning except the first, and Herrera starts the seventh with a base hit back up the middle.
You just never know when you come to the ballpark. You look at the starting lineup. You've got a lot of your starters out. Jeanette's out. Lucroy's on the DL, and Gomez Ramirez out. And lo and behold, you put up 11 runs. Make that 12 runs. 12-4, right?
Baseball logic.
I mean, it just goes to show you just never know what's going to happen.
And here's Michael Blazek getting his first big league at bat. Opportunity here for the relief pitcher. Take a few cuts against James Russell. Pretty good hack. Russell was a Cub last year. He was a deadline deal trade to the Braves along with Emilio Bonifacio. And the Braves released him in late March. About a week later, signed as a free agent with the Cubs again.
Yep, came up on Tuesday. Long-time reliever. Just trying to get back.
Ball, 2 strikes to Michael Blazek. Taking his first cuts as a big leaguer.
Did Jonathan Herrera change his jersey yet? Yep.
There he is. Now he will match up. He had the jersey that said Chicago. Everybody else had Cubs. Blazek is swing and a miss.
All is right with the world now, Matty. They've all got the right uniform
That's
on.
Right. A fashion update. Top of the order, Gene Segura. A couple of hits tonight, including his second home run of the year. Launched one over the wall and left back in the 4th inning. There you are. Before, left, and after. Right side. You need to be coordinated in your attire. It's a ground ball to short. Should be 2. And it is 6-4-3, and that'll do it for the Brewers here in the 7th. It's 12-4 Milwaukee. Lead the Cubs. Check out what's on tap. Presented by Miller Lite. There's your matchup for tomorrow. Kyle Hendricks on the mound for the Cubbies, and Matt Garza, the one-time Cub, face his former team. What we hope will be the rubber match. We get it started 12:30 tomorrow on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Garza's pretty good his last 3 times out.
He has.
And he took a loss against the Dodgers. He gave them only 3 runs in 6 innings of work. Allowed only 4 hits, but last 3 starts have been good for him.
Yeah, with Garza, you really need to take back 1 pitch. He gave up a 3-run homer in the 6th to Justin Turner. He was wheeling along pretty good in that game. He and Zach Greinke were matched up, hanging zeros on each other's teams, but the mistake was a painful one, and the Dodgers went on to win the game. Wellington Castillo leading off here in the 8th. See, his opportunities have been limited in this 3-catcher roster for Chicago. There's a little bouncer that is in play, and that will be handled by Adam Lind for out number 1. Here's Jorge Soler.
You wonder if Craig Counsell, as long as Blazek continues to throw well, wonder if he's going to allow him to finish this game. I mean, you like the way he worked the bullpen tonight so far. You know, Jeremy Jeffress able to really put up a quick 3-up, 3-down inning in the 6th after the Brewers erupted for 5 innings, and might see Blazek try to finish this one. He is a starter by trade, and it'd be nice to give that bullpen some time off.
Quiet bullpen right now. Soler a double in between a fly ball to left and a strikeout in the 5th. Brewers not scoring in their half of the 7th. That's the first time since the 1st inning they didn't scratch. The chance for Segura. And there are 2 men out.
And Blazek made the team as you know, out of spring training as the long reliever. He and Tyler Thornburg. Well, Thornburg, well, he didn't pitch all that well. Blazek continued to throw well in Milwaukee as he did in spring training, and he has been given, you know, more and more important innings, and you might think that he might be able to finish this one.
It's impressive work for this team in this first 5 weeks of the season. Seems to be a bit of an inning eater here tonight. Matt Caesar getting his first at bat here this evening. Former 2-sport star at Villanova, All-American football player. We'll see another one of those 2-sport standouts in college come in on Monday when Jeff Samardzija and the White Sox come to town. A ball, 2 strikes. Michael Blazek. Second inning of work and trying to make it quick work of the Cubs in inning number 8. Kyle Lowe started. He's got an inning out of Jeremy Jeffress. Meanwhile, the Cubs have gone 4 deep into their bullpen. Here's the 2-2. The count runs full. The Brewers' 1 series win this season has come against the Cubs. And trying to even this one this weekend as Caesar looks at strike 3 called. And Michael Blazek, in fact, makes quick work of the Cubs. We move on to the bottom of the 8th. It's 12-4 Milwaukee.
offensive showing against the Cubs, 12-4. Going to the bottom of the 8th, we're getting ready for Brewers Live postgame. Chris Davis offensively headline 7 for 8 in the 2 games so far. Cubs can't get this guy out.
Oh, you know what? If you were to try to shake hands with him now, you'd burn yourself. He's so high. My goodness, he's seeing the ball very well. And like Craig Counsell said in our pregame show, he can carry him, once he gets hot in a good streak.
Well, he's done that the last 2 nights, and good to see the Brewers out in front here as they're trying to even up this series. We'll hear from Craig Counsell, probably, I would guess, Chris Davis as well. Safe assumption there. Coming up on the postgame show.
All right, Craig Davey, thank you very much. Well, the Cubs have 3 catchers. They're using one now, but he's not catching. See David Ross on the mound, and he gets Hector Gomez to lift one to center field. Fowler takes care of it, first out of the inning. Every now and then you'll see a position player do this. And this is that now and then for David Ross on the mound.
Yeah, the Cubs already used 4 of their relievers tonight. You got Ross Cup, a lefty still available. Strop and Rondon, they're late inning guys, and then you have Grimm. So Joe Madden not afraid to throw his catcher out there, let him flip up some strikes.
Yeah, Ross Cup, Strop, and Rendon worked last night, so Madden obviously in an 8-run game. Go ahead and get one of his catchers out there and just hope he doesn't get an arm injury out of it. He works the Scooter Gennett. It's one of those scenarios as a hitter, part of you loves it and part of you probably hates it.
No, you have nothing to win, right? I
right.
mean, everything to lose. You get a hit, well, so what? It was a catcher, but if you make it out.
You get a stat patter opportunity, but yeah, you're right. It's more to lose than to gain.
Yeah, they throw under the hitting speed, in the upper 80s is hitting speed for a major leaguer. That last pitch at 59 miles an hour, wasn't it?
Not a lot of range there. There's Scooter Gennett pinch hitting, so that compounds the challenge. Here's Scooter pinch hitting for Ryan Braun here.
Yeah, not much of a range, right? 77 to 76, was it?
Right. 73, 76. Gennett with a ground ball to third, and it's booted by Bryant, but he's able to recover and make the play. So David Ross has set down the first 2. Yeah, that's just bad news if you're the hitter and you're facing a guy like that. There's just very little to gain.
Right.
You're going to get the business. But your team is up by 8, so that's a good thing. There's Adam Lynn with a ground ball to second. That's Herrera, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for David Ross, who, I'd probably smile too if I'm him, even if you're down by 8 as we move to the 9th. 12-4, Brewers lead the Cubs as we move to the 9th inning. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Well, more changes here for the Brewers. Take a look. Leon Herrera moves over to right. Scooter Gennett stays in the game at second. Hector Gomez slides over to third. On the mound after 2 good innings from Michael Blazek, Neil Kotz with a chance to finish this one off.
Yeah, maybe didn't want to put Blazek on the shelf for 3 days, and pitch count, you don't want to get it out of hand. 13th appearance for Kotz. Looking to end this one quickly.
And Chris Coughlin going after the first pitch, and Gerardo Parra runs it down. 1 away here in the 9th. Good night here for the Crew, looking to close this one out. And the opportunities are there. They cashed in this evening. There's Jonathan Herrera getting his second at bat. Came on in the 6th inning and grounded to short. Cott's trying to put together another scoreless appearance off the Thursday outing against the Dodgers. One and one the count. Brewers scored in 5 consecutive innings from innings 2 through 6. Including a 3-run third and a 5-run 5th. The grown man bats came out again. Parra with a home run. Segura. Jason Rogers. Scoring a dozen against the Cubbies. They did that late August of 2012. In fact, they scored 15 that night. Kotz is an out away from closing this one out here tonight. 2 out.
It's been a good day at the plate for the Brew Crew. And
yes, sir.
When you consider 4 of their starters weren't even in the starting lineup.
Chris Davis swinging a red hot bat. They never could get him out tonight. Jason Rogers, his first big league homer. Pinch hit 3-run bomb. Addison Russell to the plate. Russell singled his first time up. He now has a 12-game hitting streak. The Brewers will gladly trade that for an 8-run lead in the 9th. Garza and Kyle Hendricks, the pitching matchup tomorrow. Line drive to right, and that will wrap it up. Leon Herrera squeezes it, and a good night here for the Brewers at Miller Park. Home run power. Chris Davis on fire the last couple of nights as the Brewers defeat the Cubs.
Yeah, good day all the way around. I mean, Kyle Lowe's grinded through 5 innings, over 100 pitches, but bullpen only allowing 1 hit, and the offense. Well, you love to be able to win a ball game when you have to rest Gomez, you have to rest Ramirez with a back tightness, and you put up 12 runs. That's a good night at the ballpark.
That is a real good night at the ballpark. 12-4, Brewers beat the Cubs tonight. Let's send it down to Craig Kashaw and David Nelson. They're ready to roll with Brewers Live postgame.
About time we're covering a rout. That's what the Brewers do against the Cubs here tonight. 12-4 is the final. Chris Davis crushing it as well. Craig Counsell will hear from him and get inside the clubhouse. Stay with us.